So let me begin, of course, with a disclaimer. I am, of course, not Jewish, but I am always deeply moved and inspired by this particular holiday. And for that reason, I'm excited and privileged to be able to speak to it and to its core central themes, which I think, as I said earlier, are resonant for it all, for us all. Before creating today's service, I had a long and beautiful conversation with our own Debbie Perez, who of course is Jewish. She's not here today, but in her honor and in gratitude to her, I want to share something that she shared with me about the spirit of Chanukah. Now, I'm sure for many of you who've known Debbie all these years, you may have heard this story before, so bear with me. But for those of you who are newer to our community, I hope you enjoy this story as much as I did. And it's a story about the late Rabbi Hugo Grin, who was a child in Auschwitz. The holiday of Hanukkah came, and after fashioning a makeshift menorah, his father melted the precious margarine ration that they had received to light a wick for the first night. And the young Hugo, outraged, protested to his father. How could he use the food which sustained them in the midst of such horror just to observe the holiday? Well, many years later, Rabbi Grin said that it was at that moment that his father spoke words to him that he never forgot. And his father said this, "My child, you know that we can live 3 days without water, and you can live 3 weeks without food, but you cannot live 3 minutes without hope." So Hanukkah is not simply about light appearing out of nowhere. That would be a different kind of miracle. It's about courage. It's about faith, about vulnerability, and ultimately about trust. It's about choosing to light a flame even when there's no guarantee that it will last. And so this is where, to me at least, Hanukkah speaks so powerfully to us and to us as Unitarian Universalists, because we are not people who are bound by one creed, but we're bound by shared commitments to dignity, to justice, to compassion, and to the interdependent web of life. And like the Maccabees, we live in a world that often pressures us towards conformity, silence, sometimes even despair. And like them, we're asked again and again and again, will you keep your light burning? Now, Hanukkah doesn't deny darkness. In fact, it insists on naming it. And this is a festival which, of course, is celebrated at the darkest time of the year, when days are short and nights feel very long. And it reminds us that light is not most meaningful when everything is already bright, but of course, when it is scarce. And of course, many of us know what it means to live through darkness, not metaphorically, but very concretely. Darkness of grief, darkness of illness, darkness of injustice, darkness of emotional, mental, or physical pain, darkness of fear for our children, our planet, and our future. And let me share with you on a very personal note that I know firsthand the darkness of depression. And I know it especially as a result of the time when I was living in Australia. I'd left everything that was home for me and familiar to me in New York and taken a leap of faith to go to Sydney, Australia. But there, just after 1 year of being there, I lost everything. Another story for another time, except to tell you that I plunged almost without being able to stop it into a deep hole of despair and depression. And it was a battle that persisted despite all my best intentions and wills and desires. And in fact, it was my cousin who called me from England one day. I don't even know how long it was into this time and state that I'd been in, but she offered me a lifeline. And she said this, and I've never forgotten it. And it really was, in a way, the first rung on the ladder up out of where I'd found myself. And she said, Pippa, just do one small achievable thing every day. Wise counsel, because I think it began and it put me on the path towards recovery and eventually towards healing. So Chanukah offers no great promise that darkness will vanish overnight. And those of you who, like me, have battled these things, you know that it takes time. And the miracle is smaller and perhaps therefore more believable. One candle, 1 day's worth of oil, one act of faith. Now, in the Jewish tradition, of course, you don't begin Chanukah by lighting all 8 candles at once. You begin, of course, with just one. And then each night you add another. And I love this. As a non-Jew looking at it and appreciating the symbolism and the ritual of this, I can see that, for me at least, it's saying that light grows gradually, cumulatively, through persistence and through time. And this matters because so often, as we all know, and we're all vulnerable to it, we very often wait for the perfect conditions before acting. Am I right? We wait until sometimes we have enough resources, enough certainty or assurance. How many times have you heard people say, or even yourself say, I'm not sure it's the right thing to do. I'm just waiting. Sometimes too, we're waiting to have enough strength, maybe even courage. But Chanukah says, begin anyway. Light what you have. Oh, so powerful. And as you use, we might call this living our values, even when they feel fragile. Showing up for justice when progress is slow. Practicing kindness when it would be much easier at times to turn away. Practicing also tough love. Learning to love our enemies. Speaking truth when maybe silence feels safer. And the Chanukah, the menorah, the special menorah that is lit during Chanukah, the Chanukah, teaches us something I believe very important. Unlike a single candle meant to burn alone, the Chanukah is a community of lights. Each candle matters, but none stands by itself. Even the shamash, which is the helper candle, the central candle, the one that lights the others, reminds us that illumination is a shared act. And therefore, the truth as we all know it and as history has attested, we do not create change alone. Also, we don't heal alone. Had my cousin not reached out to me in that desperately dark time, who knows if I would have survived it? We can't heal alone, and we shouldn't heal alone. And we do not carry hope alone. Our light is amplified because we gather it together. Each imperfect, I love the idea that all flames are different, right? Each imperfect flame adding to the whole. And there's another quiet lesson in the Chanukah story that deserves our attention. And the miracle was not that the oil lasted 8 days. And hear me in this. The miracle was that someone chose to light it at all. They could have waited. They could have said, oh, there's not enough oil. It's pointless. Let's save it for later. But instead, they trusted that light, even temporary light, and trusted that it was worth offering. So my question for myself and for us as a community and for us also as a planet of people, what would it mean for us to trust that all of our small acts matter? What would it mean to believe that lighting just one candle, making one phone call, helping one person, doing, as my cousin said, one small achievable thing, offering one apology, standing up one more time for what we know deep in our bones is right. This could be enough to begin something larger than ourselves. Tutu said, Desmond Tutu, the Archbishop Tutu, who, as you know, is a great hero of mine, said, a tidal wave of change is made up of 1,000,000 different ripples. So let me close by sharing these last brief thoughts. Chanukah does not ask us to be fearless. It asks us to be faithful, not in doctrine, but in possibility, in believing in possibility. And faith that love can outlast hatred. Faith that justice can outlast oppression. And faith that light, once kindled, has a beautiful way of spreading. In our UU tradition, we often say that we don't have to think alike to love alike. I love that. And I think that's what we all love, the glue that holds us together. But Chanukah invites us to go even one step further than that. We don't have to shine alike to create light together. Think about that. Some flames burn boldly, others flicker quietly. Some are very public and visible, others are perhaps more private, maybe not seen. But the fact is that all of them are needed. So as we honor Chanukah today, may we remember that this story is not only an ancient one, but it is happening still. Wherever people refuse to surrender their humanity, wherever communities choose courage over compliance, wherever someone lights a candle in defiance of despair. May we be a people who do not curse the darkness, but who bring light, the light that we have. And may we trust that even a small flame can last longer than we imagine. And may we together keep adding light, one candle, one act, one day at a time. Thank you, everybody.
If you like this video, please like us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click on the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. Thank you.